In a crowded city where ambitions filled the streets just as much as cars did, lived a young man named Sammy. He was born into a modest family. His father was a driver, and his mother was a seamstress who repaired the neighbors' clothes. He had never known luxury, but he possessed something far more important, a heart that refused to give up. Every evening after returning from his exhausting job, Sammy would look at his small salary and feel as if life was mocking him. He saw young people on social media traveling, driving luxury cars and running successful companies, while he could barely afford a new pair of shoes. One night, while walking home, he stopped by an old cafe. Inside sat an elderly man with a white beard and a calm presence, as if time itself had been gentle with him. After some hesitation, Sammy sat beside him, almost as if fate itself had pushed him there. The old man looked at him and said, "Your eyes carry a big question, son." Embarrassed, Sammy asked quietly, "How can I become rich?" The old man chuckled softly and said, "Becoming rich isn't just about money. It starts with the mind, and it requires patience and understanding." Chapter 1. Changing the inside before the outside. Sammy returned home with the old man's words echoing in his mind. He remembered him saying, "The first step to becoming rich is to change your mindset before you change your reality." He began reading motivational books, watching educational videos, and learning how successful people think. For the first time, he realized that poverty is a mental state before it is a financial one. Chapter 2. Building the skill that builds the future. The old man told him during their next meeting, "No one becomes rich by accident, but by skill." Sammy tried everything. He learned design and failed. He learned programming and stumbled. He tried e-commerce and it collapsed. But each attempt made him stronger. He didn't know that failure was the greatest teacher in his journey. One day, he met a young man who worked in digital marketing. He wasn't rich, but he had valuable knowledge. Sammy asked to learn from him and even offered to work for free just to gain experience. The young man agreed, and Sammy began learning the secrets of online business step by step. Chapter 3. The first project. The first shock. After 6 months of learning, long nights, and endless trials, he borrowed a small amount from a friend, built his store carefully, and started promoting the products. In the first week, he sold nothing. In the second, only one sale. In the third, worry began to grow. Then came the day when he had to shut down his ads after losing all his savings. Sammy sat on his bed, staring at his phone screen, feeling as if everything had collapsed. At that moment, he received a message from the old man. Loss is not the end of the road. It is a test of your intention and your will. Sammy wiped his tears and told himself, "I will not break." Chapter 4. From below, zero to the first success. Sammy went back to studying his mistakes. He learned how to choose better products, how to target audiences accurately, and how to craft persuasive offers. Then he launched his store for the second time, this time with a new mindset. After a week, orders began to come in, slowly at first. Not many, but they were a sign. Months passed, and his income grew steadily. He began earning consistent profits, then doubled them, until the day came when he could quit his tiring job and focus entirely on his business. Chapter 5. Making money work, not just working for money. As his business grew, Sammy made sure not to fall into the trap of relying on one source of income. He studied investment carefully and began putting part of his profits into small stock purchases, then into startup projects with trusted friends. After 3 years, Sammy had a successful online store, a stable monthly income, investments in multiple projects, experience worth more than money. He no longer worked for money. Money worked for him. Chapter 6. Returning to where it all began. One beautiful morning, Sammy went back to the old cafe, the place where everything had started. But this time, he wasn't the tired young man looking for answers. He was now a confident, successful man. He sat in the same seat he once sat in years before. Moments later, a young man sat beside him, with worry written all over his face. The young man looked at him and asked, "Can you tell me, how did you become rich?" Sammy smiled, the same smile the old man had given him years ago, and said, "Becoming rich starts here." He pointed to his head. "Start today, even with a small step. Keep going, and never give up. The road is long, but it is possible." Moral of the story: Sammy did not become rich overnight. He was not lucky. nor did he have special connections. He changed his mindset, built real skills, was patient with failure, worked smart, reinvented himself, reinvested his profits, and refused to quit. And so, the poor boy became a man who created